Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of In Focus, wherein a program we get for you every day, wherein we discuss one aspect of the economy that would help in achieving Atmanirbharta or self-reliance for the country as a whole. And today we will be discussing Samruddh program, that is startup accelerators of the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and these are this program is for product innovation, development and growth, that is Samruddh. Now, this program was launched to create a conducive platform for the Indian software product startups to help them scale up their businesses. Also, the Samruddh program will focus on accelerating the 300 startups by providing customer connect, investor connect, and also international immersion in the next 3 years. Also, an investment of up to 40 lakh rupees will be given to the startups based on the current valuation and also growth stage of the startup that will be provided through selected accelerators. And it will also facilitate equal matching investment by the accelerator and the investor. The program aims to further the Indian startup growth story, which has seen the emergence of 63 unicorns with a total valuation of $168 billion. And up next to talk more about it, we are joined in by guests. We are joined in by Mr. Prasoon Sharma. He is founder and CEO WUS. This is an IIT based startup, and also Vineet Diopujari, he's Vice President Paytm, and also Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee, he's an IT expert. We welcome all of you this afternoon to share your insights on In Focus. To begin with, Mr. Vineet, I would want you to start up by sharing your experiences. Paytm has been one of the best success stories when we talk of startup India and entrepreneurship. Talk more about it. When we talk of the government extending a helping hand like this, what does it mean for a budding entrepreneur?
Firstly, I'll really thank all of you for joining me here, and thanks for inviting Paytm.
Thank you.
And I'm very fortunate that we are getting a chance to talk about this topic. This is a topic which is very close to my heart. I lead the startups and the mid-market business for Paytm, and as you rightly pointed out, this is an incredible step by the government of India to enable the entrepreneurship and the spirit of entrepreneurship in the country. And while we've already seen that 63 companies have reached unicorn status and have raised significant amount of valuation, I think this step only just solidifies the efforts that young age startups will be taking in that direction. So I'm very glad that the government of India and companies like Paytm are collaborating, and we've recently just announced a memorandum of understanding where both MeitY and Paytm will work together on giving mentorship, and we'll work together on financial as well as technological mentorship for some of these new age companies. Very excited about the times ahead, and I believe if you're a startup and if you're in India, you couldn't have wished for more.
All right, if you were a startup and you're in India, you couldn't have wished for more. I'll take that forward to Mr. Prasoon Sharma. Sir, being part of a startup that has been funded by MeitY, I would want you to tell us about the timing. Is the timing ripe enough when we talk of Samruddh program, when the world is grappling with the pandemic, and the pandemic has had effects on every sector of the world? So is this time conducive enough to support startups through the Samruddh program?
Yes, definitely. It's a very right time, and not only for the economy, overall the vision of Atmanirbharta, because these startups, like I am based in SIIC, IIT Kanpur. So when the nation needed ventilators, we provided that. Our startups built that in 90 days. We provided the N95 masks, and our startup itself, we got support from MeitY, and our product got selected by New York Stock Exchange for the entrepreneurial center. So we were listed in New York Tower, and we are working for low-income workers. We have helped through CoWIN app, and thanks to Digital India for our support. We supported around 10,000 low-income workers to get vaccinated. We solved around 70,000 hours of grievances of low-income workers. This is all because of MeitY's support, IIT Kanpur's support, mentorship, and when we get this accelerated support, this is an excellent idea and an ecosystem for us to grow faster and create more impact, not only in India, but globally also.
All right, Mr. Bhattacharjee, when we talk of the industry, the Indian software product startups, the ministry will be specifically catering to these 300 startups and will be providing a helping hand. What is the scope of expansion? What does the industry hold for this particular industry hold for the startups?
I think the IT sector has been the real motivator for the startups. And if you see, most of these startups are in various applications using the digital tools. So definitely, IT always has been an enabler. IT has been an enabler for a lot of things in this country. And the startups are the best examples that over the last decade, we have seen how the application of, the various technologies to fundamental ideas, whether it is around agriculture, whether it is around health or any other sectors, that have been very well provided by our young generation. And that has been seen in the success story that has been written. As we are all aware, 63 unicorns today now we have. India is the third largest in the world with the number of unicorns at a valuation of almost 11.8 crores of rupees. So now these are all, as the Prime Minister mentioned in his Independence Day speech, the new wealth creators for the country. And not only they are the wealth creators, they are also very big motivators. So IT and the various segments within the IT industry also has seen various startups. Now, even if you look at AI and machine learning, if you look at cybersecurity, if you look at the applications of IT into various projects and solution of solving the problems, I think this is something that we have witnessed, and we are seeing more and more individuals or batch of individuals coming up with ideas, not only confined to the metros or tier 1 cities, but also from various parts of the country. Some of these startups, even around e-commerce today, are coming up from far-flung places like Nagaland. There is a very nice e-commerce portal called which has come up from there. So I think we are making available the platform and giving the possibilities for various ideas to be showcased. And that is where hand-holding the startups, mentoring them, providing them opportunities, providing them markets, providing them the right market linkages. These are very, very important. And that's where also Project Samriddhi, is a big step. And IT will always remain as one of the biggest enablers for, such exercise.
All right, we'll take that forward, but at present we are heading for a short break. You're watching In Focus, and today in Focus we're discussing Samrit program, the program introduced by the Ministry of Electronics and IT to boost startup ecosystem in the country, through which 300 startups will be benefited. We'll talk more about it. Stay with us. We're heading for a short break.
As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India.
back after the break. You're watching In Focus this afternoon, and today we're discussing the Simrit program by the Ministry of Electronics and IT. And to talk more about it, we're joined in by guests. We're joined in by Mr. Prasoon Sharma. He's founder and CEO WUS. It's an IIT Kanpur-based startup. Also, we're joined in by Mr. Vineet Pujari. He's Vice President Paytm, and Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee. He's an IT expert. Mr. Prasoon Sharma, you are part of a startup that is funded by MeitY itself. Let us know the nascent stages through which startups, have to go through, in the sense what are the challenges, and to what extent, the help or the support provided by the government has helped in further, flourishing of the startup.
I think the basic or most important part MeitY has done is to change the narrative about the startup ecosystem. Now society as well as our institute accept experimenting and failing. We can innovate, we can create products, and we are allowed to fail also, and then get a real product which is solving a real problem for not only India but on a global level also. So in all these stages, MeitY and other institutes like IIT Kanpur are helping us to innovate, to experiment, to reach out the right users. As in the background, the minister also mentioned, the Simrit program will not only provide the financial resources, but also provide them platform to test their products and also the right customers. So these 2-3 points are very crucial for startup when they are starting to build their product. And then when the product is ready, they want to do a soft launch or a beta launch with the customers. So this shows the seriousness and sincerity of the government and policymakers to support startups, and they know the pain points and also are grooming us to solve bigger problems rather than just making a unicorn or financial aspect is another fringe benefit. But like Paytm, they have solved a financial inclusion, digital inclusion problem, which is a bigger problem for India, and which also synergize with Digital India. Similarly, we through MeitY and IIT Kanpur support, we are also working with Global Sustainable Alliance, which is headed by Eric Solomon, former director UN. So they are helping us to to enhance the GDP of low-income workers in India. So that's the reach, and that's the impact what MeitY and all the startup ecosystem are helping us to create and solve bigger problems.
All right, I'll take that forward to Mr. Vineet. Mr. Vineet, would you also second that? Yes, technology can play a very important, a very crucial role in accelerating and also taking the, that quantum jump in reaching out to the marginalized sections of the society, which I believe, in fact, Paytm has been successful at doing. So what is your take on that? How far and crucial is technology? And, technology and IT go hand in hand. So how would you respond to this?
I would definitely second what Mr. Prasoon has said here. I think you have seen the examples of Paytm, which is largely a consumer first and a mobile first application, which allows for several use cases, right? And I think the reason why we were able to do that was because of the power of technology, right? So, and at the same time, what I'll definitely add to that is with the adaptation of and the onset of the internet and the fact that the internet is now deeply penetrated in India, and the fact that mobile phones have become so much more affordable, and our handsets are also in such vast numbers that people are able to access internet with so much ease, the distribution of technology and the distribution of services and products has become a lot easy. So what Mr. Prasoon was highlighting earlier is that if you are a startup and you are in a early stage, you are trying to launch a beta or an alpha product and you want to do a product market test, you don't really need to wait for creating a distribution channel. You can use the mobile application system, for example, or you can use the internet as an example, through which you are able to distribute a product and services and get very quick feedback. So I think technology is definitely an enabler. Technology is definitely a system which is enabling all these startups to reach a large market at a very short span of time, and they're able to get real-time feedback, which allows these startups to innovate. It allows these startups to create products literally on the fly because the feedback is real time. So I think technology is creating a big paradigm shift when it comes to enablement of these startups, especially in those early stages.
All right, Mr. Bhattacharjee, when we talk of the span of startup India, or the entrepreneurship in the country, India has seen the emergence of 63 unicorns with a total valuation of $168 billion. Now, Prime Minister has talked of self-reliance, he has talked of Atmanirbharta, and he has talked of encouraging startup India at the same time. So where are we placed in today's time? We began by talking of how conducive is the environment, but from that day when the Prime Minister gave a clarion call for Make in India to this day, where we have 63 unicorns already in the country, pegged at more than like $168 billion, what is your evaluation of where are we standing right now?
I think we have done reasonably well. And I think, Make in India, Atmanirbharta, these are, two, I would say, clarion calls that, our youngsters have really picked up. See, there are so many areas in which we have a necessity to have indigenous products, indigenous system. We have talent pool within the country who are able to think and conceive and solve a problem solution. Now, this is very, very important. This is where I measure the real success. That you have a problem statement. Every time you run abroad, you are not doing that. You are having your young minds getting into the crux of a problem and trying to find a solution. And that solution that they are finding out in most of these areas, they are world class. They have, been something that has been picked up by some of the best companies of the world. So even if you look at the level of investments that have come in the startups, 27% of those investments have come from the US itself. Now the US as such has been, one of the countries that through the decades have focused on technology, have supported and allowed mentorship, and that's why you see the huge reach in almost every area now. In this period of time, with the start of the Make in India program, as the Prime Minister had done from 2014 till date, so many areas. Let me take defense. The extent to which we were importing 70% of what comes in, and in one of the largest importers in the world. Today, in most of the areas, whether it, if you look at the armored vehicles right up to the aircrafts, we have got into a stage where at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 levels, we are having a lot of Indian companies that are supplying. Not only that, they're also supplying to some of the biggest OEMs. Some of the big defense companies of the world have come and set up centers in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So I think, the measure of the success is that how many youngsters, how many startups have come up. In the Startup India website itself, there are more than 54,000 companies listed and all. Now there are maybe double of that which are not listed, but who are doing something somewhere very credible. So this is very, very important. And then when COVID came, you saw the actual application in, which were there right in front of the public, whether it was around some health delivery, whether it was around finding solutions, whether it was, so many minds were applied that actually give us a very high level of confidence that we are channelizing our youths in the right direction, and see, so many success stories are emerging out of the country. You go to Bangalore and Hyderabad, the extent to which you will find, or even in the Delhi region, you will find so many of the youngsters making and creating so much of wealth, and then involving so many others, also to join the bandwagon. So this motivational aspect, this on the hands success stories, I think ultimately add up to the larger picture around Make in India and Atmanirbharta that the Prime Minister has said and is being pursued as a policy very, very sincerely by the government.
All right. So, you know, you're talking of the environment. It's not just the idea of Atmanirbharta. It's not just the idea of Startup India, but it is also providing adequate atmosphere and environment to these startups to flourish as well. We'll talk more about it, but at present we're heading for a short break. You're watching In Focus, and today in Focus we're discussing Samrit program. Stay with us.
With the world's largest COVID vaccination drive, India is leading the way. As the vaccine reaches every corner of the nation, do not forget the mantra, Dawai bhi, Kadai bhi. Let's continue our fight against COVID-19. Vaccination along with social distancing, sanitization and masks.
Mask up, India!
Put your mask on and cover your nose and be safe.
Mask Up India.
مرحبا إلى الهند.
سلام इंडिया.
नमस्ते इंडिया.
नमस्कार भारत.
نحن هنود.
इंडिया.
माँ हिंदी हस्ती.
हिंदियानी.
सलाम हिंदुस्तान.
We are India.
Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching In Focus, and today we're discussing Samrit program by the Minister of Electronics and IT. Mr. Prasoon, a very important aspect of the program is that this will not only provide funding support to these startups, but will also help in bringing skill sets together, which indeed will help them in becoming successful. You know, taking the example of your startup, I would want you to elaborate more on the skill sets which will you know help in the longer run for the startups, which will be encouraged by the program as well.
Yeah, that is also a very, very important point and support for us. I gave you two examples of this live example for us. One, as our Prime Minister said, we should create tech decade for India in next 10 years by providing the high-tech solutions and educations to you know the lower cadre or low-income workers. So for this in SIC IIT Kanpur, we are working like for AI ML based technology where like even a Manrega worker, he takes a picture of his work and all its you know remunerations and what work has done has been calculated but just by a click of a picture, and it is submitted to the department. So these kind of you know supporting technology level is provided by institutions like IIT Kanpur, and they are training our developers and technical team. Second most important is safeguarding the financial or you know physical infrastructure. So we are working for cyber security again, there is a specialized cyber security center in IIT Kanpur, which is helping us to create cyber security solution for low income worker in regional languages. We are seeing a lot of cyber threats in regional languages, whether it's Gujarati, Marathi, or Telugu. So behind this, the technology support is provided by institutes like IITs and METI. They also help us in buying the technology equipments or even the patents. We are filing patents also. There's a lot of support for that also. So overall, starting from an idea, how to create a product, and if we are creating a product, what kind of technology support we are needing. They give us training also, and if you need mentorship, like in cybersecurity, we are getting mentorship by Padma Shri Maninder Gawal, professor in IIT Kanpur. He's an expert in cybersecurity, and Professor Shukla. So this is also due to the help of METI and the policy makers and our SIC in charge, Amitabh Bandyopadhyay. He's a part of National Startup Policy. So if we are facing any problem on policy level, we are given a chance to raise that issues, and that has been addressed by the ministry. For that, we are very, very thankful to them that they are listening to us, the people who are working on the ground.
All right. It is proving to be helpful for the people who are working on the ground. Mr. Vineet, when we talk of any startup, or when we talk of any entrepreneurial venture, then sustainability is a very important aspect. It's often said that a smooth sea, never makes good sailors. And talking of challenges, through this program, funding support will be given in the beginning and in the nascent stages to the startup. But what is to be done to ensure that the startups, that level is sustained for the startups in the future as well? Because starting something is easier, but to maintain that and to sustain that is more tough and is more a Herculean task, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I'll probably give probably two insights there. I think one insight is for a startup to be able to create a model which is sustainable financially as well as from a product market fit. The startup has to be absolutely mindful that they will have to be adaptable, right? They will have to make several pivots in their journey. They may not necessarily be able to give the same set of features or offerings that they had thought of originally if they scale, because the overall market perception and the behavior and the adoption is kind of varied. So I think the first point that a startup has to remember is for them to sustain, for them to scale, pivoting at the right point and pivoting for the right reasons is super critical. The second piece is around the financial, I would say, viability and the financial sustainability. I think just like we spoke about how the Samrit program is assisting these startups in the early stages, once they reach a certain stage of maturity, the business model itself on which the startup is actually launching itself in the market, that will have to be to a certain level so sound that a startup is able to create a viable revenue source. They are able to create a certain contribution margin which will allow for more confidence either through an investment directly from angel investors or from VCs, and at the same time they're able to seek funding from the market either through an IPO route. So I think both of these parameters are going to be crucial for them as they start to scale and reach a certain level of maturity.
All right, Mr. Bhattacharjee, also when we talk of a startup, in the nascent stage, a very important, a very important aspect for it to deal with is cybersecurity. So what is your take on this? How does, or in fact, does Samrit program somewhat cater to this as well when we talk of startups ensuring cybersecurity for themselves?
Cybersecurity is one of the very crucial points today, and I often say that today it is one of the very important parts of national security. Now, when it comes to the startups and how they secure themselves in what they are doing, and when an organization from its seeding to a level at which they are able to sustain themselves. Now, at that stage also, remaining secure, investing in tools that are able to secure them, able to monitor, how secure they are, that remains very, very important. You see, in today's world, secrets that are stolen are generally done through the digital means. One country's rise to a great extent has been on stolen technology. So these ideas which our startups are bringing, enabled with the help of technology, also remain vulnerable, to be able to be picked up by rogues, by nations, who don't follow ethics. And as geography is something that is invisible when it comes to the cyber world, so right from day one, they all have to be very, very careful and invest in something that is optimal. Obviously, they can't invest, in something that the large organizations can do, but at least there are a lot of managed security services and related programs that are available from very credible partners within the country. I think they have to invest in this. Secondly, cybersecurity as an area also remains a very, very hot area for the startups. Mr. Prasoon was mentioning about IIT Kanpur, but today, beyond the IITs to a lot of the, even the tier 2 cities and, individuals who might not have, such formal degrees also are even able to come up with cybersecurity products. Some of the best hackers have rarely had formal education, forget an NIT or an IIT. So I think these are also areas, the naive talents, the innate talents that come in many people to think logically, to be able to devise products, to be able to offer software solutions and services. They are also a necessity because, as we look forward to secure many of our assets with tools from within the country, like for example, the policy announced last year speaks very clearly about how in telecom and in sensitive sectors, we are not going to, brazenly take in foreign products. We will have to look for indigenous built products and mind you, all of the networking element, the connectors, the routers, everything, unless they are debugged or unless they are provided with our own software and all, there remains the element of risk. This is very, very much in the agenda when we look at national security today, because one of the most, you can say, vulnerable route remains digital route. So I think both as a service provider, as a solution provider, and themselves remaining secure remains a very important perspective for the startups as far as cybersecurity is concerned.
All right, Mr. Prasoon, when we talk of the corporate world, in fact, the competition is fierce. For a startup to to be born and to thrive in a world where giants are already there, how big a task is it? And when we talk of the Samrit program, it is a kind of a hand-holding program wherein financial support will be given in the beginning, and also we've talked of sustainability with Mr. Vineet. What is your take on that? How do startups, specifically in their nascent stages, how do they deal with the competition which they face, when we talk of all the already present giants in the respective fields?
I think one of the reasons why Indian startups are successful or why it's growing is because since beginning we are facing competition. So we are well trained from day one that how to compete and how to progress in this competitive world. And in India specifically, there are 1 billion people and 1 billion problems to solve. So if you are solving the right problem at right time with right solutions, so your product will sustain in the market. There will be a demand. And with the ecosystem like Samrit and mentorships like SIC, you will be able to navigate these competitions, whether it's through your companies or in the policy world or in the existing ecosystem or even in the global aspect also. So I think this is a part of the game in startup. There will be in competition at each level, but by hand-holding this and overall, I would say for healthy competition in cyber security, industry should also come forward, specifically like having our own ecosystem like App Store, which Paytm started. We should have our own app stores. We should have our own data protection law, and what our finance minister announced, the local data park, which is very, very crucial for AI ML solutions. So this will create a healthy competition and safeguard Indian startups, even its innovation or their experimenting within Indian boundaries. And I would urge industry also to start working on bigger aspect of creating ecosystem, Atmanirbhar ecosystems. Like we shouldn't depend on Play Stores for other companies or outside companies. We shouldn't depend on open source codes for other countries. We should, I think we have enough capabilities and resources. It's all about vision and leadership and coming together.
All right, it's about vision, leadership and coming together. We'll take that forward, but up next we're heading for a short break. You're watching In Focus this afternoon and we're discussing Samrit program by the government. Stay with us, we'll be back in a short while.
As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching In Focus this afternoon and we are discussing Samrit program by the Ministry of Information Technology and Electronics. We are joined in by three guests. We are joined in by Mr. Prasoon Sharma. He's founder and CEO WS. It's an IIT Kanpur based startup. We're joined in by Mr. Vineet Deopujari. He's Vice President Paytm. And we're joined in by Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee. He's an IT expert. Mr. Vineet, before heading for the break, Mr. Prasoon talked of how he sounded very confident of how the Indian startups are, are well equipped to face any competition. Would you also second that? How crucial is the competition factor? How crucial does that play out in the thriving of any startup business? And how is that to be dealt with?
Absolutely. I think one thing I'll definitely say there is that if you are seeing a lot of competition, that means you're on the right path. Right, there is definitely a problem that needs to be solved. There is definitely a large enough opportunity that there are several players in there, and I think the intensity of the competition is trying to kind of just highlight how much of a problem that is. So startups should not get deterred by the fact that there is too much competition. I think in our experience, coming from where we have come, Paytm has had a long journey and we've pivoted several times. We've also observed that ultimately the ability to not only strategize and think about the problem, but the ability to execute is what differentiates between a successful company and the ones that are not so successful. And hence, having that absolute sheer focus and the ability to execute will help a lot. So even though there is competition, even though there is a lot of interest from several players in the same space, the startup should not get discouraged. In fact, it should be the other way around. They should be able to think of ways to execute flawlessly so that they're able to kind of make sure that their products and services are reaching the right customers, and the experiences that they thought of creating, they are able to create those values. And Mr. Kashyap, he spoke about the app ecosystem, and I'll just briefly touch upon that. And
yes.
Our founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma has spoken about this quite a few times, and I think it's time that some of our regulators take a decisive stance on something like this. I think we've already seen a lot of facilitation from these regulators, and it has really helped the startup ecosystem. And I think we are seeing the right signs from the ecosystem as well. I think we have reached that stage where the Indian startup economy really needs a little bit more encouragement in that direction. So looking forward to hearing more great news in that direction.
All right, the Indian industry needs a little more, help or, support is what you tell us. Mr. Prasoon, I already, discussed this with Mr. Bhattacharjee, and what is your evaluation of how, conducive or how well placed is the business environment in the country when we talk of how are we placed globally? Startup, it's not just India which is eyeing an self-reliant economy, which is eyeing Atmanirbharta for the economy, which would for which in fact Startup India is a very important part. Talk more about it to the day when we started and to this day. To what extent has the business environment, ease of doing business changed in the country?
I think we evolved from an era where even a startup were wandering to the banks to just get a loan, and now not only loan, we are getting equity-free grants. So that's how we have evolved. So otherwise, you will not get any fund to start your company. Now, if you have an idea and it's good, you will get equity-free grants. So this is what we have achieved till now, and that's commendable in Indian ecosystem. Cutting down the red tape and other things. So it's very conducive in terms of seed fund and initial support. Second comes about mentorships. So the initiatives like Atal Innovation Missions and Startup India, they created the innovation ecosystem from very nascent stage, so that there is more acceptability about startups and innovation within the society. So a very generic example of our society was previously, if a person is failed, in India we used to say he's not worth of anything, and in US they will say he's a serial entrepreneur. So that's the how the narrative has been changed.
Yes.
So that's a bigger achievement in terms of narrative and vision, and in terms of global acceptance. In terms of our own startup, we got accepted by 9 incubator and accelerator from Europe. That means our idea is solving problem which is related to global problems. So, and this is not just me, it's support from the government, whether talking to the senior professionals in UN and WHO, are incubators which help them to talk to the technology professionals, domain professionals and experts to support us to create our own pitch, solution, features, and also customize when you are looking for global or specific target customer base. So this is what we have achieved till now in this startup ecosystem. And I think as the milestone has been set by Prime Minister that by next year, if we can have 75 more unicorn, although it seems impossible, but anything happen in India because there are a lot of startups working day and night, and you see a lot of IPOs coming now. So that's a kind of a proof of mettle of Indian startup founders and the ideas they are working on.
All right, so that is the proof of the mettle of the Indian startups. We're approaching the fag end of the program. Very quickly, we'll bring in closing comments from all three of you. Mr. Bhattacharjee, your closing comments when we talk of the road ahead for self-reliance, for Atmanirbharta, specifically with regard to Startup India, with regard to Make in India.
I think the startups have so far shown a very positive story across sectors. Most of them have been motivators. Most of them have encapsulated the problem statement on which they started and hence created the niche for themselves. Earlier you were asking about how they would find their space against big guys. Now, even if you look at the big guys, right at the beginning and for many number of years, the government has given them tax holidays and so many other SOPs. So while they have come and positioned themselves over a broad area, but these startups are unique ideas catering to specific problems that need a solution. Hence, they have their market. The beauty and the thing to note is that all of them have done it with so much of dedication that they have been able to grab that space in a far much lesser time and thus gain national and international recognition. Now, riding on the pillar of this success and motivation, I would see that the future startups that come up, I think the opportunities are plenty. The policy support, the incubation support, the kind of atmosphere that is building up in that whole ecosystem, I think that itself is a positive aspect that we all must look to so that we are able to not only solve problems and get those new wealth creators, but also excel in all of our areas, and that is what I think the promise of the Indian startup sector is.
All right, I'll take that promise forward to Mr. Vineet. Mr. Vineet, your take on that, the incubation aspect and the financial aspect dealt by Samrit program, and that would indeed give more teeth to the already promising aspect of the Indian startups?
Absolutely. I was just going to say that today we are looking at approximately $2.5 trillion economy in India, and with the Prime Minister's vision and also the way our country is shaping up, we expect to double ourselves. We expect to be a $5 trillion economy somewhere between the next 5 to 10 years. And a lot of this value is actually going to come from these startups. And I think the government has a really visionary, I would say, perspective on supporting these startups, and the Samrit program is just a validation of that. And it's something that is very exciting, and I'm glad we are part of this at this point in time. And there is so much more to come here that it gives us goosebumps.
All right, Mr. Prasoon, your comments on the road ahead when we talk of thriving ahead and we talk of success stories with regard to Startup India. Yours has been one, and going on your lines from your expertise, your experience, what is the road ahead likely to be?
I think we should set a target for next year, our 75th, Republic Day, that we should solve at least 75 problems. And from our startup, we have taken the mission of creating 75,000 cyber shramik warrior, where we will train low-income workers, whether it's working on railway signals or working on gas pipelines, to be cyber aware and safeguard the Indians' national physical interest. So that will be my concluding remarks.
All right, thank you so much, all three of you, for joining us this afternoon for In Focus and sharing your insights with us. So that was In Focus today, wherein we discussed Samrit program, a hand-holding program, in fact, by the government to ensure that the 300 startups, they are given not only financial support, but also skill sets which will be brought together that would further enhance in their success and will help them further thrive. So that's it. Thanks for watching In Focus this afternoon. Bye-bye.
When I came to